My name's Cassondra. I work with Tammy for Lumenus under GCSN. Typically, when you see me, you'll see me with my colleague Leanna. We are the two community service workers that are on the team. I have also put our contact information in the chat just in case you have any further questions. You can email one of us. We're always ready to answer a question. Today, specifically, we're talking about two of the programs that we offer. The first one is Lifeskills with Lumenus. So this is a program that's been around since March of 2024. And it came about because during COVID, we had noticed that there was a real need for people to work through some life skills. The big ones we were seeing was cooking, healthy relationships, some community skills specifically around like fire safety and how to be safe in those situations, nutrition and wellness, employment's always a big one, job readiness, financial literacy. So we were seeing more clients than we had capacity to take on at the time. And it made sense to find a way to kind of create a larger group so more people could participate and get some of this work done at the same time. And so from that thought process and a lot of planning, Lifeskills with Lumenus was born. So Lifeskills with Lumenus is an 8-week program. It has no cost, which is different than a lot of the other life skills programs that are going on within the community. Lifeskills with Lumenus targets, again, the community skills, healthy relationships, nutrition and wellness, and cooking. So we run on 2 different days, Mondays and Thursdays. One of the cool parts about the program is that you don't have to attend everything. You can kind of pick and choose what works for you at the time it works for you. So if you want to come on the Mondays and participate in community skills and healthy relationships, but you're not quite ready for a commitment of the 2 days, that's totally fine. You can try the next session or the session after that if it's something that works for you. The groups are geared towards individuals who are working towards the goal of independence. So for some individuals, that means living independently. For some individuals, it means just strengthening some of the skills they would like to work on in their own home, whether it be cooking or some of their relationships, things like that. We ask that everyone that comes is self-motivated and eager to learn, because as we all know, if you don't want to do something, chances are you're not going to want to participate and actually work through some of the work. And it's not always easy to sit down and talk about things, especially the healthy relationships course. I say that that's besides our cooking, because cooking is always the most popular course everywhere. Besides our cooking, healthy relationships is one of the more important courses. And it's a more popular course. And we typically get questions because right away we hear, is it about romantic relationships? Romantic relationships, romantic relationships. That's like the point we hear a lot. And so we spend a lot of time explaining that it is on relationships as a whole. We don't just want to talk about romantic relationships, though they are incredibly important. We want to equip our clients with the skills and the understanding of themselves to be able to create boundaries and have healthy relationships with everybody in their life, from families to relationships to friends, workers, things of that nature. It runs out of our head office, which is 1124 Finch. The main intersection for that is Dufferin and Finch. And there's a bunch of different times on Mondays and Thursdays. Typically, we send out a flyer, and we typically send it out to Deanna and Jason, and within the agency, we'll send it out to different contacts as well. And it's a flyer that can be sent to everyone. Yeah, so that's Life Skills with Lumenus. Are there any questions so far? That was a lot of information, so I just want to give a minute.
So that's only in person, not over Zoom?
No, yes. So it's an in-person 8-week session.
I have a few questions. Can people attend 8-week and then do it again, and do it again, and do it again?
So typically, they can attend the 8 weeks. It depends on if they did the whole program. We tend to make the the person who's already done it wait a session just to give new people a chance, because we do have limited class sizes. It is smaller. Our cooking is about 12 participants per session, and there are 4 staff for those 12 participants. And then our community skills and healthy relationships, we have a little bit more room there. So it's about 24 participants to the 4 staff as well. So if they've done 1 or 2 of the sessions and they'd like to try a different one the next session, they're more than welcome to sign up again. If they've done everything, we just ask that they pause and give other people a chance. And if there's room at the end of signups, we'll reach out to them. What hours does the program run? That's a great question. So currently we run on Mondays from 11 to 2 and Mondays from 1 to 4 and Thursdays from 11 to 2. It will switch in the fall. So Mondays will be the 11 to 2 and Thursdays will be the 1 to 4.
What is your intake process like in terms of?
Oh, that's an awesome question. So once the flyer goes out, you'll see Leanna and I's email to be contacted. Once someone reaches out to us, whether it's by phone or email, we send them a referral package. So it's a pretty easy clickable PDF where they can just fill it right in and send it back to us with the information. Once they send it back to us, we will then take that information, go through it, and then call them back. And then we have an intake that's in person. So we can meet the client can meet us. They can see the space that they're going to be in as well. And they can decide which programs they're interested in and have all the information if they have questions. And once that's done, we sign them up.
Cassondra, what's the eligibility criteria? Do they need to be connected to DSO? Like I'm thinking in terms of our other services. So do they need to be connected, or just wondering what that eligibility is? And age,
no. So
what
eligibility is 18 plus. So we've literally had participants who just turned 18, and we've had participants all the way in their 60s and 70s. And then there is no need to be connected to DSO. We haven't been told that, at least. So just having a dual diagnosis and wanting to learn life skills.
So they need a dual diagnosis, or could they have like a developmental disability? Do they need to have a mental
they can
health?
also have a developmental disability.
So both? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The other priority that's given is to people that live at home with caregivers or on their own, not necessarily people that live in supportive living that receive some of these supports on a regular basis. So it doesn't mean they're not eligible. It's just priority is given to the people who are not receiving those supports right now. Does the program run in the evenings? No, not currently.
But maybe you could speak on the respite program, Cassondra.
So I have limited understanding of the respite program. That's more Leanna's. But we do have a social respite program that runs Thursday evenings. That is more social. It's meant to allow caregivers some breaks, but also allow people to make some friendships, have dinner, interact with people in a comfortable and fun setting. That runs on Thursday nights, I believe, from 4 to 7.
Yeah, it's the same thing. It's 8-week sessions, right?
Yes, 8-week sessions.
Yeah.
So I would assume that folks who take the 8-week program during the day will then take advantage of the respite and do more social activities in the evening.
So that's the hope. It doesn't always work that way. What we did was adjust our hours because we realized 11 to 2 on Thursdays was leaving a large gap for people who wanted to come to the evening respite. So that's why in the fall, you'll see that we're switching our Monday and Thursday time. So the Thursdays will switch to 1 to 4 so that it can seamlessly transition if that's what the participants want to do. For this program, there isn't a cost. No.
And for the respite, do you know if that went up? It used to be $2 a week. So it's very, very low, the respite cost. It's and that includes the dinner. It includes a meal. So it's very low.
Yeah. I don't believe that it's went up, Tammy. I believe that it's the same price. And then I can speak a little bit more about one of our other programs. So while doing Life Skills with Lumenus, we've had 3 or 4 sessions now. we realized that there was a need within the community where some of our participants were coming to us and they were participating, but they felt as though they were struggling maybe with some of their peers, in the sense that they felt like they didn't fit in, or they wanted something that felt a little more fast paced. And so Leanna and I spent some time trying to figure out how we could bridge that gap, how we could keep supporting some of the people who needed the help but didn't feel like they fit in the classroom. And from that, Independence with Lumenus, similar names, but different programs, was born. So Independence with Lumenus, the structure is very similar. It's an 8-week program. It runs on Tuesdays from 11 to 2, but it does run out of our Hartsdale location, which is in Etobicoke at 65 Hartsdale. The main intersection for that is Islington and Eglinton. So again, we have a no-cost 8-week program. The difference with this program is we focus on employment readiness, cyber safety, and financial literacy. Cyber safety was a large one that was coming to us. A lot of caregivers and parents were coming to us just explaining kind of what we're seeing. I mean, even on our own phones, I get text messages daily from spam accounts. And so how do we equip our participants to ignore some of these things and not pay attention or get sucked into some of these scams? So it was a big one that we wanted to include in this program. The difference between Independence with Lumenus and Lifeskills with Lumenus is Independence with Lumenus is very low support and self-guided. So this is for people who already have some of these skills and they're just looking to strengthen them a little bit. This specific program, our clients do pretty much everything on their own and they're able to keep up with a faster pace of learning. The intake process is exactly the same. The ratios are a little bit smaller. We have about 10 clients to 2 staff, and then that fills up that class.
I have a question about this one.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know about this one. Just wondering, do you guys have a flyer that could be shared about this specific one?
We do. So the flyer went out. Some of the feedback we got was that it was very similar. So a lot of the times when you see the flyer, they both look the exact same and it's hard to differentiate. So that is something we're going to be making changes on in our fall flyer that will go out for the fall session. But yes, there is a flyer. Thank you, Jason.
And thinking it was the other one. Okay.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to mention it, because they literally look identical and it's very easy to get them confused.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of what I have in terms of sharing. I can share some of the success stories. We've had quite a few success stories as well. We've had a few clients who I can think of one in specific, kind of to Deanna's question earlier. So this one client, he had joined, he had very limited skills, but he had the goal of moving independently. And so he participated the first 8 weeks and he did really great. He was super friendly, but it was clear to us after that first 8 weeks, he still had some time to work on these skills. And then bonus, he found some housing and he was able to move into the housing. And then our session started again shortly after. So he was able to rejoin with a new focus and kind of a new understanding on what he needed to work on now that he was living on his own and he had limited support. And he is doing amazing. He still sends me pictures till this day of the meals that he made and the meal plans. Part of our cooking, we print visual meal plans and then we give them to our participants towards the end so they're able to keep them and hold on to them. And I still get texts of pictures of spaghetti till this day. So that was a really cool one. Yeah, we have another client who was able to budget and save, and she shared with us that she was able to secure her goal of getting a service animal. And she was able to save up enough to do that, which was really cool to see. And that was off of the budget that she had created in our program and just worked on throughout the year. Yeah. But I'm open to any other questions. Right now, we're currently in a session that just started. And so our next session will be in the fall, because similar to the shared learning program, we noticed that lots of people take vacation in the summer, and that was some of our lowest numbers. So we come back in the fall.
Cassandra, I'm just thinking of some of the referrals that have come through from the team. I
Yeah.
do know, I'm just thinking, we often support individuals with complex behaviors too, right? Could
Mhm.
somebody that needed extra support come with their own staff, like a one-to-one staff if needed? That way they could get that added support if they don't fit the ratio of the program.
Yeah, so we look at the referral package as a whole. We're definitely open to having support staff if that's the need. We do our best to try to balance out some of the needs of all of the participants as well to kind of make the sessions go a little bit smoother. But that definitely isn't something that would rule them out. We would definitely take it into consideration, but it's more of a case by case basis.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking of people that maybe their profile didn't fit with that specific group. Like
Mhm.
maybe somebody that there might be a trigger
Yep.
from somebody. So then maybe the next session you'd look at matching people
Exactly.
more in terms of what their behavior profiles might be, correct?
Exactly. So we've definitely
Yeah.
done that in the past. There's been groups where certain participants wouldn't fit just because of certain behaviors or triggers. And Leanna and I keep a list, and we tend to reach out every new session to re-offer it to them to see if it's still something that they're interested in, to be able to support them. Because just because one session doesn't work doesn't mean the next one won't.
And if we're not sure about the fit, let's say, of a client to one or the other, which one would be more suitable? Is it okay to reach out to you guys just to consult?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I had mentioned it earlier, but I put our contact information in the chat as well.
What I think is amazing about this program is there's not very many programs out there that are A, free, B, don't require DSO eligibility. So it's really accessible to everyone. Can someone do people seek advice around getting funding and ODSP and that sort of thing? Like when they come to you, do they get some advice or get some further support, or they get, sort of what does that look like for you guys?
So people come to us all the time for a lot of different questions. And so Leanna and I do our best with our knowledge to try to connect them to people or services that we know will have the answers to their questions. We're lucky that we work on a really amazing team with a lot of knowledgeable people. And so a lot of times their question is just one person away for us to ask and kind of get them some support.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
just to add around the DSO eligibility, sometimes that depends on our funding, but also we're considered a crisis transitional service. So because of that, we might get new immigrants, we might get people that just due to age, they never connected. Maybe they just live with family members till they were a lot older. They're just not eligible, but we would support them to give the information how to become eligible with DSO, but everybody would need that suspicion of having a developmental disability. So it's not that the program could be open to everybody. There would need to be somebody that could confirm, yeah, they maybe went to special needs classrooms, or they were connected at some point, or they would be eligible with DSO if they were to apply. So it's more just it shouldn't be a barrier to accessing services, especially since some people that might be seen as like they don't want to be connected to DSO just in terms of their own feelings around it. So it's something that for our services hasn't been a need, like a criteria for accessing any services. Now, obviously for my service, yeah, just because it comes from DSO. But that's why I wondered if it impacted that program. Many of our crisis team and that transitional service, they may refer to the program. So let's say we were referred for crisis or transition, and the staff goes out and does an intake and might see, oh, like this could be of benefit for this individual. Then they might refer to Cassondra and Leanna and work with them to fill in some of those gaps of things like you said, ODSP and maybe connecting to DSO. But there's that whole team. Certainly Cassondra and Leanna can bring those questions to our team. We meet once a week to kind of go through any of those things.
Can we go through the intake process now in anticipation for the fall? So what I would recommend is that you send Leanna or myself an email, or both, whoever, and we can definitely take down your contact information. And when we have the intake process starting, we'll reach out to you so that we can, you can make sure you're on the list. If you're ever looking to offer harm reduction education, oh, that would be really cool.
I can't even tell you, Sarah, how,
Yeah.
where are you from?
I'm from Surrey Place, the new harm reduction program.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you just attend IRC?
I did, yes.
Yes, okay, your name did seem familiar. That's like, yeah, no, I think that's obviously a huge need, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. Okay,
I'd be
I have
happy
your,
to offer, educational content, PowerPoints, anything, even I'd be happy to come in and speak as well.
That's really cool. Thank you.
yeah, and I have 1,000 ideas around that, Sarah.
Yeah,
So, and
I'll
I
put
have
my
your
email in the chat so that you guys
yeah,
can reach out.
okay.
These are
Thank
next
you.
presentation next month, Sarah. Just put it the last Friday of next month and you'll be presenting, just so you know we're following up.
Oh my goodness.
She's not kidding.
I'm not joking.
I mean, I have a presentation, reach out to Jennifer.
No, we're getting her done. I mean, right after this, we're doing it.
Yeah, that's kind of what our programs are about. They look similar, but they have different functions and they support different groups of people. But we love questions, Leanna and I. We love to answer any of these questions that people may have, parents, caregivers alike, and our emails are always open.
So I have a question in regards to sort of looking to expand programs. It sounds like you have. In terms of funding and sort of Lumenus's long game, what are you looking at in terms of opportunities for expansion?
I mean, I have my own personal thoughts of things that I think would be amazing.
Yeah.
But I think Lumenus as an organization is in the process of making their own plans in terms of understanding what comes next. And one of these programs both are part of that question mark, and they're working to figure it out. Oh, Sarah, I think that's a question for you in the chat. Sorry.
Oh, I love
but in
that
terms,
question.
Go ahead, Sarah.
Harm reduction. Yeah, so essentially harm reduction is just the approach to substance use where you look at the individual's substance use, you look at their whole life, and you just come alongside them and you just reduce the harms of their substance use. We don't look at it with judgment. We don't look at it with any kind of moral issue. You look at it from a healthcare perspective. So harm reduction is healthcare.
And there is on connectability with the shared learning forum. There have been some presentations. CAMH did one through the forensics team on harm reduction as well, if you wanted to check those out. And Sarah, I don't know if you've ever seen those, but there are some on the shared learning forum on connectability, right, Jason? Yeah.
Just to further your question, Deanna, about like what the future is, the idea is in the future, it would be really cool to see this be at a larger capacity, to be able to offer more classes with more dates and times, and support more people at either no cost or low cost.
Yes, I think the cost and the opportunity is tremendous.
Yeah.
That's the accessibility part, and there's such a huge need for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I think even just targeting certain areas of interest or need. So it's a pretty flexible program that they could, at some point add in specific sessions. Like I'm thinking the harm reduction or a lot of things, right? Cassondra, if you start seeing a need or a trend of parents or individuals saying, this is something we really want to work on, then that could certainly be flexible enough to do that at some point. Lumenus is definitely looking at expanding. And not just, I think, Toronto. I think we're looking at all kinds of avenues, like Cassondra said. I know I've had some of those conversations too. So that would be put out if there is a new program, it would be on connectability, like it would be shared with Jason. And you'd have it as well, Deanna. So I think as soon as we do have anything else, it'll be shared across the sector.
Cassandra, are you doing any hybrid programming? Like, are you doing any of this stuff on Zoom?
So not at this time. I think there
Mhm.
was a large push to get back to in-person learning. A lot of participants struggled with the online
Isolation.
learning, and so
Mm.
that was the push to get back in person.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd
And
have
if
to,
any,
yeah.
oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
I was just gonna
say,
say,
yeah.
yeah, on my community hub, there's quite a few options for virtual. If anybody, any of the families here, if they're looking for those type of supports, there are options through some of the other agencies. We just found that when it went to the virtual model, a lot of people couldn't participate, right? And really cooking, that's, you know, those types of skills, you know, like relationships, like you're thinking some of the things that they're working on, a lot of that, like it's work or exercises that you would need in person, right, Cassandra? Like I'm thinking
Yeah,
back to when we were at George Brown, like a lot of that
exactly.
is work you would do in person to get a better sense of what that person needs, and it just
Yeah.
provides better learning opportunity.
I think also something to add is though our program's not like a super social program, socializing is not the focus of the program. It's really great for people to get out of their house, to have something to get to every single day, to have peers that they can have conversations with and meet friends. And typically our group is different every time. Usually we have one or two who will continue on again, but typically it's different every time, which allows people to meet all new people, make friendships. And there are tons of people that have connected and still have friendships since the beginning. So that's a cool part too.
I think it's worthwhile in noting that the target folks, the SIL folks, the semi-independent living, or people living at home, programming is more challenging in that finding a peer level or peer group, to your point, that
Yeah.
they identify with and are comfortable with and won't avoid hanging out with. We have a lot of programming for that, what we call the 1 to 9, 1 to 12 folks that need more support, but this program fills a big gap, and
Yeah.
and it's free on top of it, which is great. So it
Yeah.
provides that skill set. So I'm grateful that we have it and that we can share this information and that you're looking to expand.
Cool.
Are there any other questions? Oh, that's okay.
I'm thinking, Deanna, just knowing there's some families here and that they had questions. I mean, it's not often you can get all the other people here from our sector that could probably answer them.
Yeah.
If they had any questions, as a sector point of view, um, I'm thinking back to that first question around supporting a youth 21 right there. I have a 21-year-old son with autism. I'm looking at your note, Lisa, learning how to support him into adulthood. That's number one that we see, right? You're at a school, like there's Passport doesn't really cover a lot of those programs fees. So I'm just wondering, like, we just talked about this. There used to be the DSO fair or DSTO fair where families could come and ask all these questions. So if there's any questions that families have in terms of what's out there or what, like, I'm sure any of us could answer those questions.
Well, I do want to plug connectability.
Yeah.
We don't plug it enough, but I'd have to say that I disseminate a lot of the information. So if people want to be on my distribution list, I'll put my email in the chat, and I'm happy to put you on and share the information across the sector. The programs like Cassandra's is always, I'm always sharing daily, multiple times a day. And then Jason takes every single flyer and flips it on to connectability. So it should be in your saved, that site should be in your saved box, and you should be going to it, referring to it daily if you want, or weekly, just to see what's going on and what's happening, and then reaching out to organizations. So it's incredibly helpful. And then of course our lovely Tammy, who is amazing and has been working in the sector a few days now, has created an amazing blog of information that us as professionals also use as a reference. that she's done in the kindness of her heart on her own time to provide resources that we also put on connectability. So please take a look at that. And I'll put my email in right now, just so if you want to be on that.
And just to give a quick note around the website I just gave, it's broken down into areas. So there's a whole section just on community access. So there might be a section on employment programs, education programs, social programs, relationships, social programs. If you go into the website, you're going to see a lot of things. There's a whole other section on just assistive. So in there might be things on caregiver supports, which could be staffing agencies, just caregiver groups. I'm going to have to revise the website. Obviously, there's been some updates in the sector, but you're going to see a lot of tools in there. There's a whole section on person-directed planning and on connectability as well. You might want to look out for that section on person-directed planning. If you're looking to help any of your adult children kind of, see what kind of things would be meaningful to them, that would be where to go. And that's also a service offered through DSO with all of the funded agencies that offer that service. Just make sure with DSO they're on the wait list for person-directed planning. That would give them access to a facilitator to help them build that plan, which would be very helpful to a lot of youth that are transitioning from the school into adult services. So check out any of those resources. I think those might be helpful to families. Otherwise, you end up having a lot of people staying at home and then getting really dependent upon technology and virtual and on their phones and video games. They don't get a good schedule. Now they're up all night. So keeping a routine, much like they had in school, is really important in having that social outlet. So just putting that out there. It's something we end up seeing later, right? That people end up having struggles with joining programs and going to things.
Those TTC trainings, there's all sorts of opportunities there too, which is important to have that independence. I'm assuming, Cassondra, people take Wheel-Trans or TTC to your program without any challenges.
Yeah, so Wheel-Trans or TTC are the main ones. Some have caregivers who support them with getting to and from the program as well.
Yeah. So I put my email in. Tammy's put all her resources in to share. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to, when this link is up and the recording is up on the site, you can share it with other people, or just reach out to any one of us. Pretty casual. We can end early on a Friday. I'm sure we can all do something for an extra half an hour. Right? Does anyone else have any questions? Amazing.
No.
Very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us today, you guys. And you'll be listening to Sarah next month. I'm going to email her right after this. If you come across a resource or come across a topic or someone you think would be amazing, please email me and say, hey, I would really think this person should present next time. And that'd be awesome. So thank you so much, you guys. You get a half an hour back in your morning on a Friday. Have a beautiful weekend, a beautiful day. It's supposed to be nice.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome. Take care, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.